Thanks for clicking on to the Saturday edition of Logan's European Outlook. A pretty brief video this evening, and I want to look specifically at the British Isles, the snow threat, some of the temperatures that we could expect over the next several days, and that will take us through a decent chunk of next week at least. Looking at the GFS, this is the overview chart, and at the 1500 UTC this afternoon, we had an area of low pressure sitting close to the Western Isles at 970 in millibars, and we do have some fairly significant snow now starting to mount up across the West Highlands. We do have some mixture down through southern Scotland into the north of England, relatively dry across the bulk of England and Wales. Now, as we progress through the rest of today, that system then transfers east into the North Sea, and we do have a mixture of rain, possibly some sleet mixing in, especially once that area of low pressure exits and is positioned to the east. We're starting to wrap in that cold air from the north, and I think as we progress through the overnight, we will see the snow level start to drop, of course, particularly so across the north, but we are starting to see snow picking up across parts of England as well as Wales also. Strong gusty winds through the central belt, I think mainly rain at low levels here, but we could see a wintry mix starting to develop during the overnight period as that colder air, of course, digs in. So rather kind of clear spells and showers, a brisk wind, especially across England and Wales coming in from the west, but further north we're talking about northerly winds. And as the overnight period goes on, we're starting to see that Arctic air coming back into play once again. And as we progress through the course of tomorrow, it looks as if we're going to have wintry showers largely confined to the north, fairly dry spell across the rest of the British Isles, as you can see here, with that cold, dry Arctic air in place. It looks as if it's not going to be much in the way of precipitation. But it's interesting, as we progress towards the latter half of tomorrow evening and into the overnight period in the Monday morning, we do have to keep our eyes closely fixed on this area of low pressure that looks as if it's going to track eastwards across the English Channel, and we could see heavy rainfall, especially to the east of the centre. But then on the back side of that centre, as it starts to tap and engage with this cold air that's in place over the Midlands, we could see for a time at least high elevation snow, but not exclusively. We may even see a mixture of snow coming down through the Cotswolds, the Downs, and the Chilterns. We may see some wintry precipitation developing here, especially as we progress into the early hours of Monday morning. So this is the picture here, Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we've got snow on the backside of that system. We've got heavy rain to the east of the system. Notice the centre actually stays over the French mainland, as you can see here. Continuing to see wintry precipitation riding that northerly wind, as you can see across northern areas of the country here. And as we play through the loop, you see that area of low pressure. There's a bit of a hangback, you notice here in the precipitation, and it is picking up winteriness through parts of London and the southeast, which is quite interesting. Clear skies further north, as you can see here. And as we continue to play through the course of Monday and Tuesday, we're largely left in a relatively high pressure field. So we're going to continue to see cold conditions, daytime temperatures suppressed. I think further north we could be struggling to hit the freezing mark. Overnight, especially with snow lying again, could see temperatures pushing -10 once again across northern areas. Could be as early as even Monday morning, temperatures as low as that. So yeah, we're back into a wintry theme once again, and it will be interesting to see how much snowfall we can get out of this pattern. So continue to see as we progress even through into Tuesday morning, the northerly winds continue, the showers continue across the far north, keeping our eyes on areas of low pressure that are making an approach in parts of Ireland, southwest England, the south coast here. We've also got a feature, if you notice here, that drops south during the course of later Tuesday and the Wednesday here. That will likely enhance the snow showers, snowfall possibly down to sea level with this type of setup. And We'll have a look quickly at the 850 temperatures in just a second here, because we are seeing some fairly cold air coming down. Thickness values as well, by the way, are kind of down to the kind of 928 range, even into the lower values. So some of the thicknesses within the air column itself are quite low, which means that we're basically almost shrinking the troposphere, and some of that cold air that's typically uh, you know held within the middle levels of the column. Once you start to drop Arctic air south, the thickness is lower, and the column actually contracts. So the troposphere is contracting when you've got very cold air, and of course it's the opposite when you've got warm summer conditions here. The troposphere actually expands with heat. So a little bit of dynamic explanation there. Certainly very interesting. Certainly this is at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Continue to see those snow showers coming in from the north with enhancement of low pressure. A little bit of a squeeze in the isobars, representing some fairly brisk northerly winds. And yeah, well, it looks as if it's going to be a fairly cool week, actually, folks, by the way. And then as we start to see towards the end of the week, we've got an area of high pressure that settles in overhead. Do we go back to minus teens below freezing? That is possible, I think, given the overall setup. Let's have a quick look at the 850 temperatures here. Because I did say it was going to be a quick video, but I do tend to rattle on. I admit that myself, and try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. These 850 temperatures, by the way, minus 10 coming into play during the second half of tomorrow evening here. So that is some fairly decent cold air coming down into this pattern. And as you can see here, with the area of low pressure that drops south, a little bit less cold air associated with that system here. But then, of course, we continue to see colder air getting driven south here. Keeping our eyes on this mild air to the west, that is going to try to move into the British Isles. And of course, the question is the timing in which that mild air tries to come in. But it looks as if it's replaced by something a little bit chillier once again. Let's have a quick look at the snow chart here, and we can see the setup as we go through the next several days here. So we'll start to see the snow cover mounting up, not just across the north. In fact, we see a covering of snow across the parts of the Midlands, across the southeast of England, greater London area. We may see a wintry mix even into the central portions of London. That, of course, remains to be seen. We'll continue to monitor this situation as we go forward, of course. And you can see here that generally speaking, if you notice here, the GFS generally has the snow over higher ground. So Scotland, for example, the central belt looks as if it's void of snow cover, but certainly away from the central belt, we've got a greater chance of seeing snow on the ground. But even the southern uplands into the North Pennines, parts of Northumberland, Tyneside, away from the centre of Newcastle, and even parts of Lincolnshire down into Norfolk, Suffolk, Cambridgeshire, Herefordshire, and like I say, even the greater London area may get in on some snowfall as we go through the next several days. So that's certainly very interesting to see. Let's have a quick look at the ECMWF and see what that's showing in terms of snow cover. And you can see here it's filling the map, especially across the north, but not exclusively. Notice here it doesn't necessarily pick up in the snow across the southeast of England, if you notice, but it certainly has decent snow. Southwest England, West Wales, northern portions of England, a good part of Scotland's covered. Look at Ireland and Northern Ireland as well. A decent amount of snow on the ground too. Let's have a look at the overview chart here, because it's quite interesting that the model doesn't pick up on any snow in the southeast. So what's it representing? So there's that area of low pressure. It exits off to the east. We've got that northerly wind here dragging that Arctic air down. And then if you notice here that as we progress through the Sunday night and in the Monday time frame, doesn't really have that area of low pressure over the southeast, the south and the southeast of the country. It stays over the Channel and over northern France. So that's a bit the big difference between the European model and the GFS. And then we continue to have that run of northerly winds through with the snow showers piling in, and then that continues right the way through the middle portion of the week. There's that system trying to move in by the time we reach Thursday. So it's a little bit quicker with that system moving in from the Atlantic as opposed to the GFS, where it builds a little bit more of a stronger surface high, if you notice. So little differences in the models, but it looks as if we certainly have to keep a close eye on that southeast system later tomorrow in the Monday morning, and it will be interesting to see just how cold we get with this type of scenario. Have a quick look back at the GFS, and let's have a look and see what the temperatures are showing at the 2 meter level. So let's have a quick look and see what it's showing. So 2 meter temperatures here. As we progress through the overnight tonight, of course, temperatures drop, especially across the north, and indicating -8, by the way. Actually, this is actually Monday morning, I beg your pardon, showing -8 to -10 Celsius here. During the daytime, probably little in the way of recovery above the freezing mark, especially across the north, maybe a couple of degrees above the freezing mark, but certainly with the wind, it will feel quite cold. And then even down into the Midlands, -4, -6 Celsius. And as we continue to press through the course of this week, we do still have sub-freezing nights. I reckon actually Friday morning could be a very cold morning. -12, -13 is possible with clear skies, light winds, and snow-covered ground. We'll watch this space and see what happens. By the way, just before I close, my dad, this may, be something you're interested in, may not be. It depends what you're into. But my dad is actually the minister of Harestanes Baptist Church in Kirkintilloch, which is just the north side of Glasgow. He's been a minister there for 21 years now, and the church has just started a YouTube channel. So I encourage you, if you happen to be interested in either religion or Christianity or whatnot, it might not be anything that you're interested at all. So you can pretty much dismiss what I'm going to say here. But if you're interested, give his channel a sub, and I believe the first live service is going to be aired on this channel tomorrow morning. So each Sunday morning at 11 o'clock is their worship service. So, like I say, if you're interested, give my dad a sub, and you can check out the morning service every Sunday morning. So if you do subscribe, thanks for doing that, and thanks for your support. And of course, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button for this channel. There's a lot of things to look at. We're going to continue to look at the stratosphere and see what's happening. Pretty excited about the type of winter pattern that we've got even this upcoming week. But I think we've got some very interesting things down the road. By the way, I do not think by a stretch we are done with this winter in any way, shape, or form. And actually, by the way, when I was looking back, 2017, 2018, I think this winter has some sort of similarities to it, with cold spell during December, with a pullback during January, and then I think that February still, I believe, is going to deliver the coldest weather of the entire winter. If that stratosphere can, completely split, we get that SSW and we get that core of cold into the UK, but we're a long way from that. So keep it right here and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Stay safe wherever you are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again hopefully tomorrow with more. Bye for now.